I was struggling to read and write. You know, before I even really understood that I was dyslexic, I was struggling to concentrate. I was looking at words on the page and they seemed to move around. And so I'd end up just staring at the window, just looking at the window. And then I'd be told that I wasn't paying attention. And in fact, you know, I suffered from a particular kind of racism, whereby the teacher would say to me, okay, you can't read and write, and maybe you can't do maths, but you're a great footballer, go and do football practice. So at one point in school, I could not read and write, I could not add up, I couldn't do my times table. To this day, I still don't know my alphabet. But I was the captain of the football team, the captain of the cricket team, the captain of the athletic team. I knew I could run faster than anybody in the school. And every time Muhammad Ali used to win a fight, they would expect me to box like Muhammad Ali. So, you know, these teachers would say to me, go and do something physical, because I was expected to be good at something physical, but not expected to be good at something intellectual, if you like. They thought that they were doing me a favour. At the time, I thought, great. I mean, all the other kids thought, he's really lucky, he just gets out. But really, it didn't do me any good. I would write my own things down in my own way, and then I couldn't read it back. And the teacher would say, but you just wrote it, how come you can't read it back? And if you don't have a word, I didn't have a word like dyslexic. If you don't have a word to describe what's going through you, you just sit there and you really do believe you're dumb. Now, I was dumb because this is what I was telling myself. I was dumb because I was black. I was dumb because I couldn't read and write. And if I wrote anything, I couldn't understand it. And at the same time, I was good at all these physical things, which really sent a kind of negative messages to me, because when I go home, I wouldn't try and improve. Homework meant nothing to me. You know, why do homework? Play football. I felt that, okay, the other people maybe see me as stupid and the teacher may be calling me stupid. But deep down, I felt that I could achieve something. And I always knew that I wanted to be a poet. And I always knew that I wanted to perform poetry. I didn't know it was possible to earn a living doing it, but I said, I don't care. If it's not possible, I'm going to make it possible, even at that early age. So I had confidence in myself, even though I was being put down. And later on, that confidence paid off. You know, teachers who told me that I was going to be a born failure now come to my poetry readings. So in fact, I left school at the age of 13 and then got in trouble with the police. I went to a proof school. A proof school, the name is very misleading. Approved by who? And school, there was no school at all. And so, in fact, you know, by the time I was 20, I could not read and write. But I still managed to create a book. I always say create a book, because I didn't actually write it. I dictated it to somebody and somebody wrote it for me. It wasn't until I was then called a writer that I got very nervous and thought, how can I be a writer? And if somebody tells me to write, I can't write. So then I went off to night school. And as I was learning to write, formally write, I mean, I could write a bit, of course, but as I was learning to improve my writing, I then discovered that I was dyslexic. And I remember when somebody came and said to me that I was dyslexic, I looked at them and said, that sounds as if I had cancer or something. Benjamin, I'm sorry, I've got something to tell you. I think you're dyslexic. Oh, God, what? You know, and then she explained to me what it was. And even then I realized that it wasn't the end of the world. She was acting like it was the end of the world. But I said, does that mean that I'm stupid? No. It's just the way you see words on a page and the way you compute words in your head. So, I knew that I wasn't going to let it get me down. Having dyslexia has nothing at all to do with intelligence. Absolutely nothing at all. In fact, some of the most creative people on the planet are being dyslexic. Dyslexic people usually have to work their way around problems in much different ways, and that's what being artistic and that is what being creative is about. Some of my friends and I, we kind of celebrate dyslexia because we think that non-dyslexic people only see the world in a particular way and they kind of believe everything they read, whereas we have to really think about it, and if you have a problem to solve, we usually have to go about it in a different way from normal people would. So it's a condition, but it's not a disabling condition. What can make life difficult is people that don't understand the condition. And those people that don't understand the condition, those are the people that actually are disabled. They are mentally and intellectually disabled because they are unable to understand and therefore work with somebody simply because they cannot read a code that they are able to read. And that's what it's all about, reading a code. So, I don't see it as a problem. Really, I don't see it as a problem. I see the problem in people that don't understand the condition and don't know how to deal with it. That's the problem. I have a friend who's so-called disabled, but she can paint wonderful pictures with her feet. So when it comes to painting pictures with your feet, I think I'm disabled because I can't do that. She just has a different way of doing things.